You're gonna wipe the dust off your granny sewing machine. You are going to get some thread from your granny's stash. You're gonna take that sewing machine out of the box. You're gonna bust it open. You're gonna get your sewing machine out. Most sewing machines have 2 cords. This is your cord to your foot pedal. You need your foot pedal. And then you have your power supply cord, which just plugs in here and then plugs into the wall. So we're gonna put this in, and my power button is by my power supply cords, and I would say that that's pretty standard. So this is, you're gonna flip this and then it's gonna turn on. This is probably how your sewing machine's gonna look. If you get your sewing machine out of your closet or wherever it's from and it looks like this, take the spool off, start completely over. So I'm gonna show you how to thread this. Oh no, that's just the way I do it. So I'm gonna pull around 1. You're gonna follow the instructions. We're gonna go down to 2. We're gonna loop back up and we're gonna go to 3. We have this hammer right here. We're gonna pull forward and then my thread is gonna go inside of a little hole here on the side. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm gonna pull this straight down. My straight down is my 5, okay? So this is my 5, but I need to pull it over. I'm getting back here and I'm gonna push this to the back. And then I have my thread in my hand. I pull down my automatic needle threader. We're going around the first one, and then we're going around our metal hammer here and pull back towards you, put a little bit of tension on it. You're gonna pull up gently and then out pops your thread. Oh, look, now we gotta redo it because I did it wrong. I pulled it out the wrong way. Man, I always need my glasses. Okay, I'm threaded. Your bobbin thread is where a lot of confusion comes in. I know I am speaking from experience whenever I say whenever you're impatient and you wanna use your grandma's sewing machine. I use my sister-in-law's sewing machine. I had no clue how to work a sewing machine. And so this little guy right here, this thing right here was making me so angry. I wanted to throw the whole sewing machine out the window. So there's 2 ways that you're gonna load a bobbin. Your bobbin's either gonna be a P, so here's your P, or your bobbin's gonna be a Q. So here's your Q, your tail on the back side or your tail on the front side. So my machine, my bobbin, my directional way for my bobbin is a P. So I'm gonna set my bobbin in. Okay, so even my, let me show you this. So even my plastic cover or my bobbin cover, it has the directions on what you need to do. So here's my P, if you can see that. It's a P, right? So it's telling me that my thread's gonna go around this way and come this way. So then if you look closer, I have a number 1 and I have a number 2. So I'm gonna pull my thread down around this little metal piece. I'm gonna pull it up to my number 1, then I'm gonna pull down to my number 2, and then mine has a razor in there. So I'm gonna trim that bobbin and test it with a straight stitch. So here's my straight stitch, and then I always do a zigzag stitch. So these are my 2 most common stitches that I use. I backstitch. Backstitching helps lock in your straight stitch whenever you start and whenever you finish. You have to backstitch whenever you start and when you finish, or your stitch will not be strong. If you're doing a zigzag stitch, you don't have to backstitch. From what I was told from my experience with my projects, my threads, my stitches have held. And I also use number 13 a lot too, which I don't know the right term for this, but to me it's kind of like a serger, so it's a finishing stitch. And I have a lot of designs, but I tend to go for a straight stitch, zigzag stitch, and a 13. Now whenever I do my test piece and I test before I start my project, I always do a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. I'm gonna do the same thing. trim it. So here's my top, this one. Here's my back. That's how you want your stitch to look, almost invisible. Look at this one, you see that? It's loose, the stitches are loose. This one you can hardly see, and that's how you want your stitches to be. Okay, now I'm gonna do my zigzag thread, but I wanna show y'all what this button is. So this is my needle up and down. So up, down, up. I use this needle if my needle gets stuck in a project and I'm trying to like get it out. You can also automatically push, let's see. Oh, if your needle's down, you can also pull it up this way. I'm not gonna do it because my project's not stuck and I don't want it to break it, but you can also remove it this way up. Okay, so I'm gonna do my zigzag stitch. Press your foot down. Here's my zigzag stitch. Okay, I'm gonna push this little bullseye. So this little bullseye essentially is a little man in there, and he's tying a knot on the end of my pattern. This is a great option if you're doing a design stitch, because it will finish the pattern that it's on and then it will knot it. So I give it enough time to finish. I don't do it right at the very end of a project. I get it enough time to finish, so that way it can knot it for me. So it's hard to tell because I'm using white. Now that we have our sewing machine ready to sew, I'm gonna stick my project in. I'm gonna pull these clips off. Put your presser foot down. You gotta remember that, because sometimes I even forget that.